Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Carol_Sweet, and today today we're gonna get into a very personal, very triggering personal experience. This is and to be quite honest, I didn't think I would record this video next. I thought maybe I'll go to something else before I get to this video. So now when you say I started YouTube because I'm on a healing journey, and then people ask you, so why did you go to therapy? Right? So yeah, today's gonna be me and my vulnerability and why essentially I decided to go to therapy, and where am I in the journey and what has it opened my eyes to, right? So me. Tulufelo, I'm a very, what do you call it? I'm a sucker for love, actually black love, black genuine love. I'm a sucker for love, Shem guys. Yo, yeah, I'm a sucker for love. Always, always been in a relationship. Never really been single, really. I've never really been single as a person, personally. I've always been in a relationship. What do I want to say? I've never been single, really. I've always been in a relationship, man. I don't know how. I've just always been in a relationship, guys, since I started seeing my period. Since my coming of age, since I've started seeing my period, to me, I have always been in a relationship. Yeah, I wanted to say actually before that, but let's not go there. But yeah, ever since I started seeing my period, I've always been in a relationship. Cool, fine, chat. What does that mean, right? Now, obviously, in hindsight, like after everything has happened, you sit back, you realize, oh, okay, right? So, number one, always been in a relationship. What does that essentially mean? Yes, it means maybe, if you look at it in another way, it means I've always been lucky in love, right? Positive that I've always been lucky in love. I won't lie. I have always been lucky in love. Shem. I have always been lucky in love. Fine, sharp, great, sharp. But in hindsight, what does that mean? It means that each and every time I broke up with someone, or each and every time my relationship ended, I never really gave myself the time to heal. I never really gave myself time to know myself. Because why? Because there's always this other person, me and this person. When do you get time to know yourself? When do you get time to know what you like, what you don't like? When do you get time to know what you like, what you don't like? You don't. That's the point. You don't get time to know yourself if you are always in a relationship, right? Okay, fine, cool, sharp. That was the card that I was dealt with. Nancy Kadla Kosisi. Wena, you will get to know yourself later in life. Not the best thing to ever happen to me, cha. Fine, sharp. Always been lucky in love, always been in a relationship, meaning I never have time to sit with myself and say, girl, what's happening? What are you doing? What do you want? Right? Have I always been ambitious? Yes, I've always been ambitious. Have I ever had a boy distract me from whatever I was doing in my life? No. Have I ever given up my dreams or ambitions or my aspirations to be with a boy? No, I haven't. None. So that means what? That means Tulufelo has never really sat down and I batlisisa, right? Sharp, which leads me now to today. Why did I go to therapy? I went to therapy because things that happened in my life. I had a constant feeling, right? A constant feeling of not being enough, or a constant feeling of not being chosen. And like I said, because I've never been single, it means I have never really sat and asked myself, so why do you feel the way that you feel? What I would do is, because there are these people that have hurt my feelings from whatever actions they did at the time, I would then play the victim. That is the part that Tulufulu played. Tulufulu is the victim. I was the best girlfriend. Tulufulu is I am the best girlfriend you have ever had. I was the best girlfriend. Like, how could you do that to me? How could you cheat on me? Tulufulu was the best friend on earth. Like, how could you hurt my feelings, or how could you not do this for me or be this for me, right? So yeah, so that is what happened that made me feel like, no man, why? Like, why do I always find myself in situations where things happen and I feel like I don't get what I give, type of situation. I don't get what I give, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship. So Tulufela was always the perfect friend, the perfect girlfriend. How could anybody do this to me? Why would anybody want to hurt me? You know? But you know what they say, Musika? That things happen to good people. So you go to therapy and you go and you're like, yeah, you know, this is what happened. So and so and so did this, and then so did that. And then the therapist, oh jeez, they're like, I am not, like, you know when somebody's about to BS you. She wasn't, but obviously because I was wounded, and if you are not ready, if you're not ready to go on a healing journey, if you're not ready to listen to a different perspective, if you're not ready to see things in a different way, then therapy won't be effective for you, you know. And I remember that question. She was like, I hear what you say happened with your friend, right? With your friend, and what is happening in your relationship. So, and I'm not saying at all that the way those people treated you or what happened was right, but I just want to ask, what do you think your contribution to the situation was? You? I wanted to say, this is not about them, this is about me. Like, why are you defending them? Like, why are you? And she was like, and she was like, no, it's fine, take your time, take your time and tell me, what do you think could be the reason? What do you think could be your contribution in the whole situation? What was your play? What was your role in all of the situations? And just like that, his subconscious mind the devil comes marching into the room, because it has the answer, child. It comes marching in the room and it's like, you don't have boundaries. You don't have boundaries. Anazo boundaries is. And right, that was my answers. Like, could it be because I don't have boundaries? And she was like, okay. Not yes. She was like, okay. And what do you think? Okay, I like I said, I don't have boundaries. Fine, I didn't have boundaries, right? And even if I did maybe have boundaries, I was not enforcing them. Also, you can have boundaries, but if you don't communicate your boundaries, it's kind of useless. Also, this thing of having boundaries and not communicating them, sorry, you have boundaries, they're your personal boundaries, obviously, probably have nothing to do with the other person, which is mostly the case. My boundaries have nothing to do with you. This is my boundaries for me to protect me, right? Fine. Some people have boundaries and they don't communicate them, and they don't want to communicate them. Like it's that thing. Yeah, one mistake, you're out. One strike and you're out. And I understand that, but I don't think not communicating them is a healthy thing to do in long-term relationships, because I don't know your boundaries. You need to communicate them to me. And then once I do something that I didn't know, and then you're just like, okay, bye. And then you're like, but I didn't know, but I didn't know. But yes, I did not communicate her, hey, if this and this happens, just know her, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I'm not doing that. I am not going to put myself through that again. Right? Fine. Guilty one. And then she comes again and she's like, in all of the things that had happened between you and the people that you were talking about this at this moment, which are the closest people that you have, that you considered to be the closest people that you have in your life, what is the common feeling, right? Like, what is the essence? What do their actions, when they come to you, what are they saying to you? What is it that their actions are proving to you about you, that you believe about yourself subconsciously? And I was like, that I'm not enough. At my first session, mind you, this is my first session, 2-hour session of just bawling my eyes out. Fine. Discovering her, I've felt all my life like I'm not enough. I've felt all my life like I don't belong. I have felt all my life like I'm just never chosen, right? Fine. Childhood trauma, that's my wound. Feeling like I don't belong, feeling like nobody ever chooses me, feeling like nobody ever stands up for me, feeling like I'm never enough. Like, no matter what I do, it's never enough. Comes the question, when in your childhood, or when in your memory, do you think, when was the first time you ever felt this feeling? Hey, Bo, look, girl. Right? And who made you feel that way? And it was my dad, my my dad that raised me. Story for another day. My dad that raised me, right? And then we went on and on and on and talked about that, and what is it that he had done specifically to make me feel that way, right? And I sit here now at the age that I am to say, yeah, I understand, because it was his own fears that he couldn't articulate to me. Listen, my child, as a brother, this is what my sisters have gone through, because everything that my dad ever projected on me was a projection of what had happened to his sisters, so, and understand, or maybe at the time Nalo Omunyana, or he didn't have much power to help his sisters or to help them make different choices. Obviously, you can't live people's lives for them. You can advise, yes, but you can't. At the end of the day, they make the choice. At the end of the day, they make their own choices. That's a different story, right? So they made the choices they made. What happened to them happened to them, which then meant now I am now raised by the projection. Yeah, this is what my sisters did, and this is what they became, and this is what happened to them, and if you do 1, 2, 3, this is going to happen to you too. So being raised in an environment where you're compared, also not in a nice way, man, where you're being compared, not in nice things, and very horrible, nasty. nasty things, a lot of nasty things. Like, you just grow up like, I was a good girl, guys. Not me getting emotional, child. I was a good child. Understand? I was a good child. I never wanted to disappoint that man. Right? The pressure to always be good. But I was this good child, did everything I was asked, could never say no, which is the reason why it's very hard for me now. I struggle very much to say no, but that is what I'm working on. That's what I'm in therapy for, to unlearn those things, to say you are no longer 10 years old, you are no longer the Tulu Oko 1468. That's our house number. You're no longer the Tulu Oko 1468. You're grown now, you're 28 now, you have 2 kids now and a husband now. You no longer need to be a people pleaser. You no longer need to do everything by the book because you want approval from your dad, or because you want approval from your parents, or because you want to stay out of trouble. You no longer have to live like that. If you want to do something and it makes you happy, you don't have to care mang areng, mang otlo feel bjang. It makes you happy as long as it's not harmful, right, guys? I'm not saying now go do whatever you want and fuck everybody else. No, as long as it's not harmful to other people and it makes you happy, do it. People are gonna talk anyway. Like, believe me, guys, sorry, I did everything that I could. I did everything that a good child would ever do. But because my dad was struggling with whatever he was struggling with internally, or he did not heal from whatever his sisters put him through, he projected that on me, what I'm gonna do the same thing, right? Which brings me to me getting pregnant in school and the trauma that was. Like, literally, that was my biggest fear in life, to become everything that my dad said I might become, right? But that will be handled in another video. Fine, sharp. So the crux of the matter was that I got to realize that, okay, Tulu, boundaries are not my friend. Two, you care a lot what other people think. Like, yo, guys, because of what I just explained now, hooray, I needed to always be in that man's good books, right? Cool, sharp. You care a lot what people think. You take things personally. A lot. Like, a lot. And I can say I am currently on 40% of detachment. I think I have a very anxious attachment style, right? Like, I need to be affirmed a lot, which means, hooray, I never really feel secure in whatever friendship or relationship that I'm in, that I need a surety a lot. And now, to unlearn that, you need to detach. Like, if I invite you for lunch and you say no, I can't, and you go out to lunch with somebody else, oh, child, that would be something that would hurt me, right? To be like, oh, okay, again, it goes back to what? Feeling like you're never chosen. A what? A wound. It's already a wound. You didn't cause it as the person who refused to come to lunch, or chose somebody else to go to lunch to, or you already had planned their lunch. You just omitted to say when you said no to me, or no, actually I already had lunch plans with whoever, so that's what I'm doing, so I can't come see you, right? So what are you doing? You are stabbing me in my wound, but you did not create the wound. The wound was already there. So it is my responsibility to heal this wound and not take it personal when you say no. So when you say no, I automatically think, is it me? Like, is there something wrong with me? Are you saying no because it's me? If it was somebody else, you would go, type of thing. So I'm quickly unlearning that. Ooh, and trust me, there's nothing as painful as detachment. You wanna be bound. It's hard saying no, ne? mara detachment day, like to not attach people's actions and reactions to you personally. Or no, these are just their actions. This is what they chose to do. This is what they wanted to do. This is what they wanted to say. It is their choice. It has nothing. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. That is hard. That is hard, right? So that's why I'm learning to detach. Sharp. Coming to the issue, the boundary. So, like I said in the beginning, Tsolofelo was never really good with, I don't know whether I was never really good with being single or whether I was scared to be alone or what was it. I just found myself in relationships time and again. When this is done, kana umuntu who was waiting to, and then no matter how it happened, that's just how everything was to me. I never saw cheating as a deal breaker. No. Like for all my life. Only now, since I've been married, I'm like, Ayla, right? But before, I just felt like, oh, okay, you are doing it. Oh, okay, I will. Will it hurt? Would it hurt me? Yes, it would hurt. Yes, it would bloody fucking hurt. It would hurt a lot. It would hurt like a motherfucker. It would hurt like a bitch. But I never, funny enough, which is, I think that is also a very funny thing that I need to unpack, because I can't unpack it alone. It just doesn't come to me. I never attached that to my worth. I never attached it to my worth. For me, it was a, oh, okay, what cheat, but you still want to be with me. Okay, it's fine. Let's go on with life. Let's continue, because it has nothing, what you're doing with that other person has nothing to do with me. Also, when you confront the boy and then tell you, right? I never followed up. I never tried to get proof. You know, I just wanted I'm sorry, it's over, I love you, I choose you, and then we move forward. And maybe that is what I yearned inside, to say, no, I choose you, to be chosen, right? To be chosen, because I felt like I was never chosen. So when somebody chooses you, you're like, Bob's your uncle, Wena, this is what I want. I choose you, fine. No matter how many rumors and child. Anyway, yeah, no matter how many rumors come, and I never took it as a deal breaker, because I was like, he's with me anyway, right? And what that did is, if you're gonna be with somebody that's unfaithful, and then obviously now you can't be unfaithful and expect me to be faithful. I mean, how can I hide, right? So I was young, I was in fashion, I was in demand. Guys. Yeah, I was that girl. I was if you're gonna be unfaithful, then it's a free pass, obviously, for me, because now you can't come back and be like, oh, not so well, and then I'll be like, hi, not you, my brother, not you, eh? Right. It gave me that pre-pass. And what does that do? That makes you lose focus, type of situation. Now I am no longer going to focus on what you're doing. I'm going to focus on what I'm doing, right? And then whenever we meet as is, right? And then I don't know why in my adult life, I don't know why in my adult life I just had this edge. Or no, man, I don't. No, it's wrong. It's wrong, especially if you are not upfront about it, especially if it's not the agreement, especially if it's not in the contract. especially if it's not like that. So yeah, so that goes a lot into when I would let this person cheat on me, like over and over and over. Like I'd always find out, nah, I don't know how, I don't know why, but they would just always pop up. And there was another time he was like, "Nara, I'm a prophet." Like, why do you always catch me? I'm like, I don't know, it just happens. It's not that I like it, but just know if you're doing something funny, I'm gonna find out one way or another, right? So fine. And then it really just got to a point where I was like, nah. Or actually, something tragic happened. Something tragic happened. I mourned that. I grieved that thing that happened. I'm not comfortable saying what happened. And then I was like, actually, yeah, no, it's been good, but I will always leave and come back. I'll always leave Revelan, because I'm a Revelan. Just a mess, a whole toxic. We were both toxic. I can't say I am not guilty of anything in that relationship. That was a hot mess. I think that relationship actually shaped the people that we are today. We learned a lot from each other. I think we learned a lot of do's and don'ts from each other in that relationship, and then yeah, I it's also this thing. I had this feeling, if I leave him, remember the thing of not being good enough. If I felt like I will never meet anybody that loves me the way he loves me, that toxic love child. Nahan. I never thought that I would ever find anybody else who loves me the way he loved me. Also, that's what he would say. I'll never find somebody who loves you the way I love you. I'll never find somebody who touches you the way I touch you. Right? And I believed it for some reason. Even without him saying it, at the back of my mind, I thought, am I ever gonna find love like this? I always thought I wouldn't, because I had an internal wound. I am not worthy, I am not enough, and if this is anything for you, I hope you reach out, even if it's not through therapy, it's just through sitting and looking at yourself and facing your demons, to say, why am I like this? Why do I do the things that I do? And to know you are worthy as you are. Like, you don't have to be a good girl. You don't have to conform to society. You don't have to be a Miss Goody Two Shoes to be worthy of love. As you are love. You are worthy. You are more than enough. You are more than enough. So if you're a young girl, 16, 17, 18, or 15, 16, 17, 18, and boys are starting to scout you and you're starting to get into relationships, because in as much as we can say, yeah, you're young, there is a very high chance that I could have still been with that person today, because he wasn't willing to leave me, I wasn't willing to leave him, no matter how messy our situation was. So we literally could have grown up together had that tragic thing not happened, right? And had we not broken up, then I would have missed on the amazing love that I get to see now, the amazing love that opened my eyes to say, actually, you are deserving. Like, you don't even have to ask. You don't have to ask, child. You don't have to ask. You don't have to ask. You will find somebody that will just love you. You will find somebody that will just love you and appreciate you as you. Like, you won't even have to try. Yeah. Oh my god. You won't even have to try. Like, who will love you for you as you are? Yo, guys, yo. You won't even have to try to be anybody else. You will find somebody who says, listen, you're a mess, but you're my mess. You're my beautiful mess. Somebody who will be able to handle you with ease. With ease, guys. So yeah, that was my vulnerability video. I'm glad this is out of the way, because I've been contemplating, you know, saying maybe it's too much, maybe it's not, but I'm glad this is out of the way. Then we can focus on other things. So yeah, that's literally why I went to therapy. I got into a big fight with my husband. I got into a big fight with my very, very best friend, and then I was like, no man, I'm probably the commanding barrier. That's what Yana says. Yana says, if you have a problem with this person and this person and this person and this person, bitch, maybe you're the problem, right? Then I was like, you know what, let me go sort me out. Let me go sort me out, and then maybe things will be better. And things are so much better. They are so much better. So everything happens for a reason. Do I think I had to go through all that to get here? Sorry for me. Sorry. Do I think it was necessary for me to go through all that to get here? No! It was not. It was painful. It was painful. And that pain changed me into this person that I am right now. It changed me into this person that I am right now. And I want to say I'm grateful, but fuck, it was painful. So yeah, work better at your boundaries, guys. Work better at the things that you don't want. If you don't want something, you don't want something. Don't think you will ever want it. If you don't want it, you don't want it. And if the other person does not get it, that's their problem. You don't have to change your boundaries to accommodate the other person. I think that was me. Like, I would be like, no, I don't want. No, I don't want. And then when somebody does, and I'm like, okay, it's fine, I forgive you. Right? Fine, I forgive you. But deep down, I don't want. And you have to put yourself in a position where you lose people because they do the things that you say you don't want. Either you lose the person or you lose the relationship. Like, the relationship changes to be something else than what you thought, which is what happens sometimes if you don't want to cut people off. You adjust to what they say they want, and then if you realize that, oh, okay, so I put myself out there as this person, you're not reciprocating because of your own reasons that have nothing to do with me. Therefore, this is then how we're going to deal with this going forward. You don't overextend yourself. There's this thing where, guys, being vulnerable sucks. There's this thing where I'm a nice person, and I feel like maybe sometimes I've went out of my way to prove that I'm nice, which is what a people pleaser is that you are nice, right? You're nice. You don't have to prove to people you're nice. You're a good person. You don't have to prove to people you're a good person. Being a good person doesn't mean when yes, and then you feel bad, and then you end up saying yes, and then you're resentful for helping that person or for giving them that thing that you gave them. No. If I it doesn't mean I'm not your friend anymore. It doesn't mean we're not friends. It doesn't mean I'm a bad friend. And that's that. That's a boundary. That's your boundary. if nna ke tlo kwatela gore ga o batle go nkadima wiki, then it means I am not the friend for you. You see, and it's very funny in friendships. Of course, we're not gonna discuss those things. It's gonna happen the day I come to you and be like, "Can you please borrow me a wig?" And you say no, and I say why, and you say no, I'm not comfortable. And then I'm gonna be like, "Why?" I mean, even if that was the case, I don't know who it's you know. So if you know lawyer, then I guess that's that. But I mean, I know people can say, then like, why are you friends with somebody all young? Did I know? Did I know or what? But obviously, if I admit that to you out loud, you have every right to say, okay, I'm not comfortable being in a relationship with somebody who does not trust me, and I'm not comfortable being in a relationship with someone who thinks, hore, I would do anything malicious to them. That is a valid reason to end a relationship. But I'm not your friend anymore because you want to borrow me your things. No. Also, okay, maybe not no. Maybe, yeah, sharp, fine. That's valid for you. For me, it's not. It's valid for you. You have every right to feel that way. If you want friends by long hurry, when aliena, without being suspicious, that is it means you're safe with that person. It's a safe environment, right? Which is absolutely beautiful, to be able to have friends that you feel safe with, to know what for a week. I know Rauta Macy Alwisako Mamang, and then Hawamo Uto, and then Miraka Igastolo Ihola. Right? That is a very safe relationship to be in, to know hore the other person wants the best for you and you want the best for them. So yeah, things like the small things, man. Boundaries are small things that other people have to respect. I have a very close friend of mine. We've been friends for over 10 years now, and her boundary is something that I actually prefer. Like, I prefer to be called. She does not want to be called unless include if, yeah. unless is the house burning, is the child dead, are you in an accident, are you dying, you're not dying, do you need something urgently? No. If not, it sounds simple, right? It really sounds simple, but at the same time, it's something that I enjoy. I don't enjoy texting. I can stay months without texting people now, but I'll call you, be like, what's up, what do you do, right? Spend hours on the phone. That's just me. She doesn't want to be called, I want to be called, so I don't call her, she calls me. You see what it's like. Boundaries. Respect the other person's bond. If it's much for you, then it's much. There's nothing the other person can do about it. If it's much for you, it's much for you. So yeah. Anyway, guys, this was a hard one for me. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, comment. Leave your comments below if you've been in a similar situation. Have you changed the way you view things? Do you still believe in those situations? Is cheating a deal breaker for you? Is it not a deal breaker for you? Do you know people that are in open relationships, or people that just don't mind adding other people into the mix to keep things interesting and used up? So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Love you guys. Mwah.